walked through the empty halls of Frontier Station Odyssey. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. It was the night shift and most people were sleeping. He liked it this way, quiet, peaceful, just him and the machines. He carried his toolbox in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. The station was old, always needing repairs. Didn't mind. He was good at fixing things. Had been doing it for 12 years now. Bay 7 was at the far end of the station. The message said there was a power drain, probably just a loose connection. Easy fix. Punched in the access code and the door slid open. The bay was dark. He hit the lights. They flickered on one by one, buzzing softly. The bay was huge, meant for cargo ships, but it was empty now, or at least it should have been. Froze. Massive chains stretched across the floor. They were thick, made of some dark metal he didn't recognize. They glowed faintly with blue energy. The chains led to the far corner of the bay, disappearing into the shadows. "What the hell?" muttered. He set down his toolbox and walked forward slowly. The chains were anchored to the docking clamps. Someone had modified them, welded additional supports. This was permanent. This was meant to hold something. Followed the chains into the darkness. His heart beat faster. The coffee suddenly didn't seem like such a good idea. Then he saw her. A dragon. She was enormous, easily 20 feet long. Her scales were dull gray, covered in dust. Her wings were folded tight against her body, wrapped in more glowing chains. Her head rested on the floor, eyes closed. For a moment thought she was dead. Then one eye opened. It was golden, bright even in the dim light. It focused on him. Should have run. Any smart person would have run, but he'd always been more curious than smart. "Hey there," he said softly. The dragon's eye narrowed. Her mouth opened slightly, showing teeth like knives. A small flame flickered between them. A warning. Raised his hands. "Easy, I'm just a mechanic, I won't hurt you." The dragon made a sound, something between a growl and a laugh. When she spoke, her voice was rough, like she hadn't used it in a long time. "You hurt me. You are human, small, weak." "Yeah, probably," agreed. He looked at the chains. "But I'm the one who's free." The dragon's eye widened slightly. Then she looked away. Moved closer slowly. He could see her better now. She was thin, too thin. Her ribs showed under the scales. There were marks on her scales where the chains had rubbed. Some looked infected. Around her were metal plates with writing on them. Couldn't read the symbols, but he recognized them as draconic script. The plates were warnings. "How long have you been here?" asked. The dragon didn't answer at first. Then quietly, 4 months, 21 days. "And they just left you?" "I am void-touched, dishonored. My clan cast me out." Her voice was flat, empty. "This is my fate." Shook his head. "That's not right." The dragon laughed again, bitter. "Right, wrong, these mean nothing. There is only the clan law. I broke it. This is the consequence." "What did you do?" She looked at him again. "I believed other species were equal to dragons. I said we should learn from them, work with them. My clan called this contamination, weakness. So they brought me here, chained me, and left." Felt anger rise in his chest. He'd seen a lot in 12 years on this station. Different species, different cultures, different laws. But this was wrong in any language. "Wait here," he said. The dragon made that bitter laughing sound again. "Where would I go?" Went back to his toolbox. He grabbed 2 bottles of water and some protein bars from his pack. They weren't great, but they were food. He brought them back to the dragon. She stared at them. "What is this?" "Water, food. When did you last eat?" 6 days ago. A worker dropped some waste. I ate that." His jaw tightened. He opened the water and set it where she could reach it. Her chains clinked as she moved her head. She sniffed the water, then drank. All of it. In seconds. "Slow down," said gently. "You'll make yourself sick." She didn't listen to the second bottle either. When she finished, she looked at him with something like confusion. "Why do you help me? Your kind and mine are not allies. My kind believes everyone deserves basic decency, said. He opened a protein bar. And I don't care what your clan says. Nobody should be chained like this. The dragon was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, I am called. People just call me. He held out the protein bar. It's not much, but it's better than garbage. Took it carefully with her clawed hand. The chain made it difficult, but she managed. She ate slowly this time, savoring each bite. Walked around her, examining the chains. They were sophisticated. Energy restraints mixed with physical locks. Definitely draconic technology. Way beyond anything humans made. These are designed to suppress your abilities, he asked. Yes, I cannot generate plasma, cannot break free, cannot even call for help across the void. I am trapped. Pulled out his scanner and started taking readings. We'll see about that. Watched him. You cannot break them. They are draconic locks. Your technology is too primitive. Maybe, said, not looking up from his scanner. But I'm pretty good at taking things apart. He worked for an hour, scanning, measuring, taking notes. Watched in silence. Finally stood up and stretched. I need to talk to someone, he said. I'll be back. You are leaving. Something in his voice made him pause. It was fear. Just a hint, but it was there. Just for a bit. I need to clear this with the station administrator. You're not cargo, you're a person. That changes things. The clan paid for this bay, paid for my chains. Yeah, well, we don't allow slavery on human stations. That's going to be a problem for them. Walked to the door, then stopped. He looked back at. She was watching him, her golden eyes reflecting the dim lights. I'll be back, he promised, with more food and a plan. For the first time in months, felt something other than despair. She didn't know what it was at first. It took her a moment to recognize it. Hope. It was a small thing, fragile as glass, but it was there. This human, this small creature her clan had taught her to dismiss, had given her something no dragon had given her in 160 years. Kindness without conditions. She watched the door close behind. Then she looked down at the empty water bottles, at the wrapper from the protein bar. Small things, simple things. But they were gifts freely given. And that made all the difference. Looked at like he'd grown a second head. You want to do what? Free her, said simply. They were in her office, a small room filled with screens and paperwork. She's been chained in that bay for almost 5 months. No food, no water, no medical care. Rubbed her temples. She'd been station administrator for 6 years. Nothing surprised her anymore, except this. The draconic clan paid for that bay, paid in advance for 2 years. They have a legal contract. For cargo storage, not for leaving a living person to die. Their laws say she's not a person anymore. She's void-touched, dishonored. I don't care what their laws say, leaned forward. She's starving. Those chains are infected. If we do nothing, she'll die. Is that what we do now? Stand by and watch. Was quiet for a long moment. She looked at her screens, at the legal documents, at the station regulations. Then she looked at 48 hours, she said finally. I can give you 48 hours before I have to report this to corporate. After that, it's out of my hands. Smiled, thank you. Don't thank me yet. If the clan finds out, this could get ugly. Dragons don't forgive easily. I know, stood up, but some things are worth the risk. He went back to Base 7 with more supplies. Food, water, medical gel, blankets. Was awake, waiting. Her golden eyes followed him as he entered. You came back, she said. She sounded surprised. Said I would, set down the supplies. I brought medicine for those cuts, and real food this time. He spent the next hour cleaning and treating her wounds. The chains had cut deep in places. Hissed in pain but didn't pull away. She was used to pain. Tell me about these restraints, said as he worked. How do they function? Explained. The chains were triple locked. Physical restraints, energy suppressors, and quantum locks keyed to draconic biosignatures. They were designed by the best draconic engineers. Unbreakable. Nothing's unbreakable, said. Your confidence is foolish. Maybe, but foolishness has gotten me pretty far. He finished bandaging a particularly bad cut. There, that should help. Why do you do this? Asked suddenly. You gain nothing, you risk much. My clan will not thank you, they may punish you. Sat back. Where I come from, we have a saying. The only thing needed for evil to win is for good people to do nothing. I'm not going to do nothing. Good, evil, these are simple concepts. Yeah, they are, that's what makes them useful. Picked up his scanner again. Now let's see about these chains. For the next 3 days, barely slept. He spent every free moment in Bay 7 studying the chains. He brought his mentor to help. The old mechanic took one look at the restraints and whistled. These are beautiful, said. In a terrible way, the engineering is perfect. Can we break them? Asked. Shook his head. Not directly. The locks are too sophisticated. We'd need draconic technology to counter them. Then we don't break them, pointed to his notes. We go around them. He explained his plan. The chains were anchored to the docking clamps. The clamps were bolted to the station. The station was human-built. That was the weakness. We can't unlock the chains, said, but we can remove what they're attached to. Stared at him, then he started laughing. You want to cut the station apart? Just a little. We'll kill you. She gave me 48 hours. I'm using them. They worked through the night. Carefully, slowly, they cut through the anchor points. The chains were sophisticated, but the docking clamps were just metal and bolts. Human technology. Simple. Accessible. Watched them work. She asked questions, wanting to understand, explained as he went. His approach fascinated her. Dragons would try to overpower the locks. Humans just changed the problem. Your species thinks differently, she said. We have to, replied, not looking up from his work. We're not the strongest or the fastest, so we learn to be clever. On the 3rd day, finished rerouting the energy flow. The chains still glowed, still functioned, but now they thought they were secure while the actual anchors were loose. Last cut, said. He looked at ready. She nodded, not trusting herself to speak. Made the final cut. The anchor points separated. The chains fell away, clattering to the floor. The energy restraints flickered and died. Felt power flood back into her body. Plasma generation, flight capability, void calling. Everything her clan had suppressed, everything she was. She tried to stand. Her legs couldn't hold her. Months of immobility had weakened her too much. She started to fall. Moved fast. He activated his powered frame, the one used for lifting heavy equipment. He caught her, gently lowering her to the floor. Easy, he said softly. You haven't moved in months. We'll take it slow. Looked at him. This small human holding her massive form with simple machinery and stubborn determination. Her clan had taught her that humans were weak, primitive, barely worth noticing. They were wrong. Tears formed in her eyes. Dragons didn't cry like humans. Their tears were plasma, hot and bright. They scorched the deck plating where they fell. I am free, she whispered. Yeah, said smiling, you are. He helped her settle comfortably, brought more medical supplies. They worked together, checking her vital signs, treating old injuries, making sure she was stable. Felt something she'd never felt before. Not from her clan, not from anyone. Unconditional kindness. These humans didn't want anything from her, didn't demand anything. They just helped because it was right. The door to the bay slid open. Walked in with 2 security guards. Her face was grim. We have a problem, she said. Stood up. What kind of problem? The Draconic clan. They've received an alert about the bay, something about the restraints failing. Looked at, then back to. They're sending representatives. They'll be here in 72 hours. To take her back, asked. To reclaim their property, that's what they called her. His voice was tight with anger. Property. His eyes widened. No, please, I cannot go back. Step between and they're not taking her. They're within their legal rights, according to draconic law. I don't care about draconic law, she's a person, she has rights. Not according to galactic law, said quietly. Dragons are registered as clan units. Individual dragons have no legal standing. The room went silent, felt hope crumble. She'd been free for mere hours. Now they would take it away. Looked at, there has to be something. Some law, some regulation. Pulled out her tablet. There might be, it's a long shot. She scrolled through legal documents. The Galactic Sapient Rights Law, Article 7. Any sapient being can claim asylum if facing persecution. There said, she claims asylum. It's not that simple. To claim asylum, she'd need to prove individual sapience, separate from clan identity. No dragon has ever done that. Stood up slowly. Her legs shook, but she stayed upright. Then I will be the first. Grinned, that's the spirit. Looked at both of them. You understand what this means. If you fight this, the clan will push back. Hard, this could get dangerous. I understand, said. Me too, added. Sighed, then we have 72 hours to build a case. Let's get to work. This apartment was not designed for dragons. It was small, meant for one person. But it was the safest place on the station while they figured things out. Had to curl up to fit inside. Her tail wrapped around the small living space. Her wings pressed against the ceiling. But she didn't complain. After months chained in a cold bay, this felt like luxury. Adjusted the temperature controls. Too hot, too cold. It is perfect, said. She watched him move around the small space, putting away tools, clearing space for her. You did not have to bring me here. Where else would you go? The bay's not safe anymore. He pulled out his food storage unit. I don't have much that's dragon-friendly, but I've got some raw protein packs. Will that work? I have not had proper food in months. Anything will work. Heated the protein and brought it to her. She ate slowly, savoring each bite. Real food, warm food. It was almost too much. Tell me about your clan, said, sitting down nearby. What made you different? Was quiet for a moment. I was a scholar. My specialty was comparative civilization studies. I studied other species, their cultures, their achievements. The more I learned, the more I saw that we were not superior, just different. Your clan didn't like that. Dragons have ruled themselves for 10,000 years. We have always believed we were the peak of evolution. To suggest otherwise was heresy. She looked at her clawed hands. I wrote papers, gave lectures. I said we should learn from others, work with others. The clan elders called me void-touched, contaminated by alien ideas. So they abandoned you. It is considered mercy. The alternative was death. Her voice was bitter. They gave me to the void, hoping I would starve or go mad. Either way, I would be forgotten. Shook his head. That's not mercy, that's cruelty. It is the clan way. Then the clan way is wrong. Looked at him, such simple conviction, such certainty. Your species is strange. You are weak individually, yet you defy beings far stronger. We're not that weak, said with a smile. We're just different. We learned a long time ago that different doesn't mean lesser. Took us a few wars and a lot of mistakes, but we figured it out. Over the next 2 days, they worked on building this asylum case. Helped, pulling legal documents and historical records. They needed to prove was an individual, not just a clan unit. Set up a camera in his apartment. We're going to record you, talking, thinking, being yourself. We need to show you're sapient independent of your clan. What should I say? Whatever you want, that's the point. Talked for hours. She discussed her research, her theories about cultural exchange between species. She recited poetry she'd composed in secret. She solved complex mathematical problems, demonstrating unique problem-solving approaches. watched in amazement. She was brilliant, not just intelligent but creative. She approached problems from angles he'd never considered. "Your clan called you contaminated," he said when she finished. "I call you ahead of your time." Scales flushed slightly, a dragon blush. "You are kind." "I'm honest," saved the recording. "This is good, really good. If the council sees this, they'll have to recognize you as an individual." That night asked, "Why do you help me, truly? You could have reported me to your administrator and forgotten about me. It would have been easier." Thought for a moment. "My grandfather used to say that we're judged by how we treat those who can do nothing for us. You can't pay me, can't help my career, can't offer me anything except maybe friendship. And that is enough." "That's everything," he smiled. "Besides, you're interesting. How many humans can say they freed a dragon?" Laughed. It was a strange sound, like thunder mixed with bells, but it was genuine. How many dragons can say they were freed by a human? On the third day they arrived. 3 draconic warriors landed on the station. Their ship was massive, black and silver, covered in weapons. Station sensors went crazy detecting the power levels. Contacted immediately. "They're here, the clan representatives. Their demandings return." Looked at, she'd gone very still, her scales pale. "Are you ready for this?" "No," she said honestly, "but I will face them anyway." They went to the main docking area. The 3 dragons stood in the center, radiating authority and power. They were bigger than, their scales darker, marked with clan symbols. Warriors, born and trained for combat. The leader stepped forward. His name was Az, recognized him immediately, her former mentor, the one who'd signed her abandonment order. As said, his voice was deep, commanding. "You will return with us. You have been freed without clan permission. This is theft." "She's not property," said, stepping forward. He was tiny compared to the dragons, a mouse challenging lions, but his voice was steady. "She's a person, and she's claiming asylum." As looked down at, "You are the human who broke the restraints." "I am." "You are either very brave or very foolish." "Little bit of both," admitted. "But mostly I'm just someone who doesn't like seeing people in chains." "She is not people, she is clan property. Void touched, dishonored." "I am here," said, her voice stronger now. "I can speak for myself." As turned to her, "You were void touched, you have no voice." "The human gave me one." Moved to stand beside. "I claim individual sapient status under galactic law. I claim asylum from clan persecution." The other 2 dragons hissed. This was unprecedented, as his eyes narrowed. "You cannot claim what does not exist. Dragons are not individuals, we are clan." "Then I am the first exception." "There are no exceptions." As his voice echoed through the docking area, flames flickered at the corners of his mouth. "You will return, or we will take you by force." Station security moved in, weapons ready, stood with them. "This is a human station. Galactic law applies here. If she claims asylum, you cannot take her." "Galactic law does not recognize dragon individuals. It is not valid." "We've submitted her case to the Galactic Sapient Rights Council," said. "They're reviewing it now. Until they make a decision, she stays." As looked at, really looked at him. "You are a small, soft thing. You work with machines. You are nothing. Yet you stand against the clan." "Yeah," said. "I'm a mechanic. I fix broken things. And your clan is broken if this is how you treat your own." For a long moment, nobody moved. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut. Then as laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. "You have spirit, human. It will not save you." He turned to, "You have 3 days. 3 days to renounce this foolishness and return willingly. If you do not, I challenge you to trial by flame." His eyes widened. "Trial by flame." "Combat. If you win, the clan recognizes your individual status. If you lose, you return in chains. Permanent chains." "She just got free," protested. "She's been starved for months. She can't fight." Then she should choose wisely, as spread as wings, 3 days. The clan warriors left. The docking area fell silent. Sat down slowly. Trial by flame I cannot win, as is a master warrior I am a scholar. Then we trained, said. In 3 days, against a warrior with centuries of experience. Maybe we can't make you a better fighter than him, said, but we can make you a smarter one. Looked at him. You still believe I can win? I believe you survived 5 months alone in chains. I believe you're stronger than you know, and I believe different doesn't mean weaker. He offered his hand. So let's prove it. Took his hand in her claw. It was a strange gesture, human and dragon, but it felt right. 3 days, she said. Then we better get started. The cargo bay had been converted into a training ground. Couldn't teach how to fight. She'd forgotten more about dragon combat than he'd ever know, but he could help her prepare in other ways. You're thinking like a warrior, said, watching her practice movements. Stop that. Paused, breathing hard. 3 days of rest and food had helped, but she was still weak. I must fight like a warrior to win. No, you need to fight like a scholar, pulled up diagrams on his tablet. As is stronger, faster, more experienced. If you fight his way, you lose. Then how do I win? By changing the game. Showed her schematics of the bay where the trial would take place. You understand energy flow, right? Plasma generation, thermal dynamics. Of course, it is basic dragon science. Then use that, don't overpower him, outsmart him. They spent hours planning, explained how dragon combat worked. It was ritualized, following ancient patterns, direct confrontation, power against power. The stronger dragon won. What if you don't follow the patterns? Asked. That would be dishonorable. You're already void-touched. They can't make you more dishonored, grinned. So let's be smart instead of honorable. Help them set up equipment, reflective panels to redirect plasma, cooling systems hidden in the walls, magnetic field generators. Nothing illegal, nothing that broke trial rules, just environmental modifications. You're turning the bay into a trap, said, impressed. I'm giving her options, corrected. The rest is up to her. On the second day, his body was responding better. The food and medicine were working, but she was still nowhere near full strength. Watched her practice and felt worry gnaw at him. What if this isn't enough? He asked that night. Then we hope the Sapient Rights Council makes a decision first, she said, but she didn't sound hopeful. The morning of the trial came too fast. The cargo bay was packed. Word had spread through the station. Humans, aliens from a dozen species all came to watch. A dragon claiming individual rights. It was historic. As arrived with the other clan warriors, he looked at the modifications to the bay and snorted. Tricks, they will not save you. Stood across from him. She looked small, fragile. Her scales were brighter than before, but still dull compared to his. She was terrified, could see it in her eyes. He walked over to her. Remember, you're not trying to beat him at his game. You're playing a different game entirely. I am frightened, she admitted quietly. Good, fear keeps you smart, he smiled. You've got this. Stepped forward as referee. The terms, trial by flame, combat until one combatant yields or cannot continue. The winner's claim is recognized by all present. Begin, as said. He didn't wait, he launched forward, massive and fast. His claws raked at, she barely dodged. He followed with a blast of plasma. It caught her wing. She cried out in pain. The fight was brutal, as was everything wasn't. Strong, experienced, ruthless. He'd trained for centuries. She was a scholar who'd spent months in chains. Watched, hands clenched. Every hit made him flinch, but kept moving. She was learning, adapting, not fighting like as expected. She used the environment. When he charged, she dodged behind the support beams. When he breathed fire, she used the reflective panels to scatter it. She was making him work for every strike. But it wasn't enough, as was too strong. He caught her with a tail strike that sent her crashing into the wall. She fell, struggled to rise. Yield as demanded. This is pointless, you cannot win. Got to her feet, blood dripped from her mouth. I have spent months in chains, I have starved, I have been abandoned, I will not yield. She attacked, but she was slowing down, as blocked easily. He countered with a blast of plasma that knocked her down again. Couldn't watch anymore. You're not weak, he shouted. You're different, show him what different can do. Heard him, something clicked in her mind. She'd been fighting as his way, following the old patterns, the warrior's code. But she wasn't a warrior. She was a scholar. She stood up slowly, as moved in for the finish. He breathed a massive stream of plasma, enough to end it. Didn't dodge. Instead, she activated the magnetic field generators had installed. The plasma stream curved, caught in the magnetic field. She adjusted the field strength, calculations running through her mind. The plasma redirected, not random, precise, controlled. It curved back toward Ez. His own attack hit him. He roared in surprise and pain, stumbling back. Didn't stop. She'd spent years studying energy flow. Now she used that knowledge. She manipulated the bay's magnetic fields, turning Ez's power against him. Every attack he launched, she redirected, made him fight himself. It was beautiful. Not the brutal combat of warriors, but the precise work of a scientist. She was solving him like a problem, breaking down his attacks into predictable patterns. Ez realized what was happening. He changed tactics, tried to adapt, but had spent months doing nothing but thinking. Every scenario, every possibility, she'd calculated it. She was 3 steps ahead. The final move was simple. Ez charged pure physical force, waited until the last second, then activated a cooling system directly under him. His feet hit the supercooled metal. He slipped, momentum carrying him forward. Stepped aside, used his own force to redirect him, Ez crashed into the wall, hard. He tried to rise, couldn't. The fight was over. The bay was silent. Then someone started clapping, then another. Soon the whole crowd was cheering. Stepped forward. The trial is complete, wins. Ez looked up there was something in his eyes, surprise, maybe respect. You did not fight like a dragon. No, said, I fought like myself. He slowly got to his feet. By clan law, I must acknowledge your victory. You have proven yourself worthy of individual recognition. A screen flickered to life. A message from the Galactic Sapient Rights Council. They'd been watching the trial. Their decision was instant. Individual sapient status granted. Is recognized as an individual entity under galactic law. The crowd cheered louder, stood there barely able to process it. She was free, truly free, not just from chains but from the clan. As looked at, you broke no chains, human. You simply showed her she was never truly bound. He turned to leave, then paused. The clan will talk of this. Others may follow her path. You have changed things. Good, said. The warriors left. The crowd dispersed. Soon it was just and in the bay. She collapsed, not from injury but from exhaustion and relief, sat beside her. You did it, he said. We did it, she looked at him. I would not have survived without you. Sure you would have. You're stronger than you think. Perhaps. She was quiet for a moment. What happens now? I am free, but I have no clan, no purpose, no path. Smiled. Then you figure it out as you go. That's what we humans do. And if I choose wrong, then you choose again. That's the point of freedom. You get to make mistakes and try again. Thought about that. Freedom. Not just from chains, but to choose, to fail, to try. It was terrifying. It was wonderful. Will you help me? She asked. I do not know how to be free. Nobody does at first. Stood up, offering his hand. But I'll stick around while you learn if you want. Took his hand. I want. Together they walked out of the bay. Behind them the chains lay broken on the floor. Ahead was unknown territory. No maps, no certainty. just possibility. And that was enough. 2 weeks after the trial, still wasn't used to freedom. She woke up every morning expecting chains. Finding none felt like a dream she might wake from. Had moved into larger quarters. The station administrator had approved it once asylum was official. The new apartment had space for both of them. Barely. Coffee? Asked like he did every morning. I do not drink coffee, replied like she did every morning. One day you'll try it. One day you will be disappointed. It was their routine, small, comfortable, human. Had been trying to find her purpose. She was free, but freedom without direction felt empty. She'd spent 160 years as part of the clan structure. Now that structure was gone. What do you want to do? Had asked her a few days ago. I do not know. Then try things until you figure it out. So she tried. She attended lectures at the station's learning center. She explored different parts of the station. She talked to other species, learning about them, but nothing felt right. Then equipment broke. It was a complex repair, something in the plasma conduit system. Was struggling with it, covered in grease and frustration. Let me see, said. She looked at the system. Her mind, trained in energy flow and plasma dynamics, saw the problem immediately. The conduit is reversed. The energy is flowing backward. Checked, she was right. How did you see that so fast? It is simple energy mechanics. Dragons learn this as children. Grinned, wanna help me fix it. They worked together. Hands were nimble, good with tools. Understanding of energy systems was incredible. Together, they fixed the problem in half the time it would have taken alone. You're good at this, said. It is merely application of basic principles. No, I mean really good. You see things I miss. Felt something spark inside her, interest, engagement, purpose. The next day she asked if she could help with other repairs. Agreed immediately. They worked side by side, fixing broken systems, improving efficiency. Word spread quickly. The human and the dragon can fix anything. Jobs started coming in. At first, simple repairs, then more complex problems. Knowledge of draconic technology combined with human ingenuity created solutions nobody else could manage. Watched them work one day and laughed. You two are going to put me out of business. Never, said. We learned everything from you. I didn't teach her. She's doing things I've never seen. Looked up from the circuit board she was examining. I approach problems differently. Dragons and humans see from different angles. Together, we see more. 1 month after her freedom, started teaching. The station's technical institute asked her to give a lecture on draconic energy systems. She was nervous. Public speaking to her own clan had gotten her exiled. What if these people rejected her ideas too? They won't, assured her. You're sharing knowledge, not threatening anyone. The lecture hall was packed. Humans, aliens from 24 species, all wanted to learn. Stood at the front, her massive form barely fitting on the stage. She began talking. At first her voice shook. Then she found her rhythm. She explained plasma dynamics, energy matrices, quantum resonance, things her clan had hoarded for. The audience was fascinated. They asked questions, good questions, answered each one, excited by their curiosity. When the lecture ended, they applauded. Not polite applause, but genuine appreciation. Several people came up afterward, asking for more lectures, wanting to learn. Was waiting at the back, told you. They want me to teach a full course, said, amazed. Will you? Yes, I think I will. Teaching became her passion. She held classes 3 times a week. Students from across the station attended. She shared draconic knowledge freely, something that would have been unthinkable in her clan. But she also learned from her students. They taught her about their species, their technologies, their ways of thinking. It was everything she'd wanted when she was with her clan. Knowledge exchange, mutual growth. 3 months after her freedom, something unexpected happened. Another dragon arrived at the station. Her name was Sira. She was young, barely 90 years old. She'd heard about the dragon who chose individual freedom. "I want what you have," Sira said. "My clan treats me like property. I have no voice, no choice. Is it true you are free?" Looked at this young dragon, so much like her younger self. "It is true." "Will you help me?" Looked at, he nodded. "We've done this before, we can do it again." They helped Sira claim asylum. It was easier the second time. His case had set precedent. Within a week, Sira was free. She wasn't the last. More dragons came. Some were refugees fleeing clan persecution. Others were simply curious. They wanted to see if freedom was real. Helped them all. She became an advocate, someone who understood both clan culture and individual rights. She could translate between worlds. The station administrator created a new position for her, cultural liaison for draconic affairs. It was official, paid, important. "You're making a difference," told her. "Real change." "It still feels strange," admitted. "I was void-touched, worthless. Now I am important." "You were always important. Now people recognize it." 6 months after her freedom, a message arrived from a human engineering consortium. They'd heard about the human dragon mechanic team at Odyssey Station. They wanted to hire and to design hybrid ships. "It's a huge opportunity," said, reading the message. "They're offering serious money, full resources, a chance to build something new." Was uncertain. "I am a teacher now. I have students who depend on me." "You could teach there too. Bigger scale, more resources." "It is frightening, such a large step." "Remember when I found you in that bay?" Smiled. "You've already taken the biggest step. This is just another repair job." Thought about it. 6 months ago, she'd been chained and starving. Now she was being offered a chance to shape the future. It was overwhelming. But it was also exciting. "I will do it," she decided. "We will do it together." They accepted the offer. Plans were made for their departure, but first wanted to do something. She returned to Bay 7, the bay where had found her. The chains were still there, coiled in the corner. The station had kept them as evidence for her asylum case. Picked up one of the chains. It felt lighter than she remembered, less powerful. "What are you thinking?" asked, joining her. "These chains held me for months. I thought they were unbreakable." "They were pretty tough. But you broke them, not with force, with cleverness, with kindness." She looked at him. "You showed me that chains are only as strong as we believe them to be." "So what do we do with them?" Smiled. "We recycle them, turn them into something useful. The station needs new supports for the workshop expansion." "Turning chains into tools, I like it." They arranged for the metal to be melted down and reformed. The chains that had bound her would become the foundation for a new workshop, a place where different species would work together, learn together. It felt right. On their last day at Odyssey Station and stood in the bay one final time. Tomorrow they would leave for their new assignment, new challenges, new opportunities. "Are you scared?" asked. "Yes," admitted, "but also excited. Is that normal?" "Completely normal. That's what freedom feels like, scary and exciting at the same time." "I prefer it to certainty." They turned to leave, but movement caught their eye. A young dragon was being led into the bay. Chains glowed around her wrists. She looked terrified. And exchanged a glance. They both smiled. "Well," said, grabbing his toolbox, "looks like we've got one more repair job before we go." The young dragon looked up as they approached. Her eyes widened. "You are the free one." "I am," said gently, "and you are." "My clan calls me dishonored. They left me here." Knelt down, eye level with the young dragon. "They are wrong. You are not dishonored. You are not property. You are a person." "Can you help me?" "We already are." Examine the chains. "These look familiar. Should have them off in a few hours." his eyes filled with tears, plasma tears that scorched the deck. Why do you help? Thought about that question. She thought about finding her in this very bay. She thought about all the choices that led her here, all the fear and hope and struggle. Because someone helped me once, she said, and now I pass it forward. Started working on the chains. Stayed with talking softly, explaining what would happen next. The future was uncertain, but it was bright. Outside the bay, the station hummed with life. Dozens of species working together, learning from each other. And somewhere in that mix were dragons who chose their own path. All because one human mechanic refused to walk past someone in chains. All because one dragon dared to believe she could be free. The chains fell away, gasped as power flooded back, caught her gently. "Welcome to freedom," said. And in that moment, in that bay where her own story began, understood. This was her purpose, not just to be free, but to free others, not just to change, but to help others change. She looked at, he was smiling, already packing up his tools, ready for the next job. Different species, different backgrounds, different ways of thinking. But the same goal, the same dream. A galaxy where everyone could choose their own chains to break. And together, they would keep breaking them. One by one.